here at Citizencon. And we now have the cosplay contest, and also the Pyro area should be live now. I'll go take a look over there in just a moment. But first, my impressions on the first part of the day. Basically, they went 3 sessions, one right after another. There was not the breaks between them that we thought there might be. First one was the Star Engine demonstration, and it started with Chris Roberts described it as the longest spline in gaming history. I think it had one of the greatest flexes in gaming history. I mean, Star Engine CIG was just completely showing off their muscles to both the creator engine that was behind Starfield, and it just the difference was just astounding between what you can do in the what you can't do in the creator engine and what they were showing off here. I was a bit leery, worrying about whether there'd be sandworms in this. You know, if you know what sandworms is, it was from a few years ago, and that was and there's just a couple things. They showed the narwhal, which we have been waiting for a long time in game and haven't really seen. They also showed the cows, which we have also been waiting for a long time in the game. So I hope those are showing up. And so those two things aren't being the sandworms of 2023. Other things that were new, but they actually went and followed up with them in the sections about fire. We think things we haven't seen in the game, but they showed them that they are in development, what they're happening, and that they're going to be happening. Specifically, the things about water, about the destructive maelstrom physics, the things about clouds. Some of the things they did with lighting, it sounded like, I could take or leave, and you could tell the difference, but it wasn't that impressive. The things they were doing with lighting and clouds, I thought was very impressive. So all in all, a very good first 2 sessions. The third session on resource management repair, I missed just a few minutes of it in the beginning for bathroom necessities, and but it felt like it was much more disjointed for something that wasn't a live demonstration. It should have been scripted better. They should have known what they were going to be saying and told the story better, more consistently. So that was actually kind of the 3, it was the worst. But really, a surprising highlight, a really big highlight, was that very simple demonstration of the red area, the green area, and the purple area that showed actually having static server meshing working with multiple players, and they were small, but it actually showed the proof of the concept operating real time and live. Since I was kind of 3/4 of the way back, because I wanted to have a good view of the whole environment, I wasn't able to read all the little text, but I plan on, as soon as I get home, and downloading the stream and zooming in on those little things to get into the text. But it really showed those 3 things. And I was really surprised. I thought, is this going to go over the heads of the audience here? But Star Citizen players they're savvy. They understood what they were seeing, and I was kind of impressed by that. They really understood what was going on the screen and the importance of it, which is one of the things I've been trying to help with this channel to educate the community on, about how server meshing is going to work and how it works. One thing I was surprised actually about was that how they handled in real time, say kicking a ball from one zone to the other and shooting something from one zone to the other. That didn't resolve, it didn't have any problem as essentially the authority over a bullet as it was traveling was able to be switched from one authoritative simulation server to another authoritative simulation server. So I could shoot it, and apparently the one server was authoritative over the fact that I shot it, and the other server was authoritative over whether it hit. That is extremely impressive. I was always under the impression that these server zone changes would have to be happening at some inflection point. while you're in a train, while you're walking down a corridor, so that there'd be a fair amount of time that they could be sure that that change in authority had happened. But apparently it was able to happen literally from one side of the room to the other, which was very impressive. I was I was actually a little bit disappointed about the things about hair and skin textures. I was hoping actually that we would actually see an improved version of the character creator. So we could do things like selecting better hair. We could do things like selecting face tattoos and so forth. So those things were all talked about, but I was really hoping to see what the next generation of character creator was going to be like. So that was a little bit disappointing. But the little bits that were disappointing was in no way affected the overall impression of the day. The overall impression there was that tremendous flex of reminding us of all of the capabilities that we have in Star Engine, and that the people that are whining about Unreal Engine 5 and whining about Starfield, how great it is, we really have in Star Citizen an amazingly good engine, and that can do an amazingly large number of really cutting edge stuff, and that is only going to be increasing. For a while I was thinking of saying, the section that they did on water and clouds and fire, that this was the Earth, Air, and Fire segment of the show. Star Engine for you to see what your game can surely be. Star Engine for you to see what this game can truly be. Anyhow, it's things have quieted down quite a bit in the hall, but there's still people milling all around. I'm going to get back on, pick up my camera here. We'll try to do a little bit more of a walk around. And I want to see if the Pyro area is open and people are playing there yet. So hang on a sec while I grab my stuff. And let's go for some walk. I see people at the terminals, at the computers in Pyro. And surprisingly, the line is not that long. So I can swap the camera around here. So here's the hands-on area. Actually, looks like there's still a number of empty seats. Yes, these people in the hands-on area are in Pyro. See if I can get a closer look at some of the screens. What? Yes.
Great to meet you, man. You make awesome content.
I actually I did get in the plane, but I actually found it a little weird in person when I turned it on with the watch from like the space station to like across the street. I'm not even like dogging on nobody.
There is a fairly large queue here, but yet there are also empty terminals. So I'm not sure why there's one and not the other. I would be not surprised at all if they don't talk about new ships in the ship panel, which will be the first one after the lunch break. So yeah, look forward to new ships. So far, I don't know how well you guys are able to see what's going on the screens. People are doing all sorts of various things in Pyro. I'm not sure why they don't have all the seats filled. There's obviously people wanting to play. Yeah, I would expect that. Everyone has been talking about the RSI Zeus 2. That certainly is a possibility, but that could just be a red herring. They've been known to have red herring ships. Definitely, I expect to see talk at the ship panel about the SRV, which will very soon be in the game. They may give us an actual date where that will be live. Also, I expect during the talk to have talk about the Storm and the A1, although the A1 is at this point kind of old news. We're all seeing that already. Looks like they're rebooting a bunch of them. Looks like they had to reboot a whole bunch of systems. I'm not sure why they don't quite have all of them up. Of course, we are dealing with Star Citizen and even an early release of Star Citizen. So I'm not surprised that only half of the seats seem to be filled yet. They will probably get that figured out. Is there a reason why half the seats aren't being filled?
We were just doing a quick staff change
Oh, okay.
while that was going on. We're about to fill them all up in a second. We were just doing some. We were trying to get people to go to lunch, basically. Yeah, a little staff rotation.
I was wondering if it was, oh, well, another server reboot, you know.
Yeah, just a staff rotation.
Staff rotation, not a server reboot. Okay.
We're in the third and fourth ones right now.
Do you know what zone y'all were in?
In the very, very back row.
Very fun.
Yeah,
The last one?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I haven't seen that. I haven't been able to check the website. But yes, now by the preview server, are they talking about the BTU or about the about a new separate preview server that they're also going to be using to show server meshing. Okay. I don't know, they might just be using the term preview server because they don't want to, because PTU is techie and kind of insider baseball to Star Citizen players. You have to often, when you're talking about press releases, to avoid, as I said, inside baseball. Terms that only mean something to other Star Citizen players when you're trying to make a press release to the general gaming community. I wonder, so what did they say? Well, it'll be interesting whether they start with the Evocati or not. It was kind of disappointing that 3.21 did not go through an Evocati phase. I think it would have been a better release if they did. But they were eager to get a lot of testing in prior to Citizencon. So they're going to be juggling a lot of releases. We're going to have a 3.21.1 release. That's probably going to be the IAE Expo release. Then they're going to have this preview release, which I am going to, let's just call that one 4.0. And then there's probably going to be a 3.21.2 release that's going to contain the test of the full implementation of the replication layer, although that could also be the preview build. It's going to be hard to separate them out, but they're going to be, because they did say, they definitely said on multiple occasions, 3.22. So they are expecting a end of the year, a fourth quarter patch, Christmas time of 3.22 that will not be 4.0. So there's definitely, so 4.0 will not be end of years by their expectations. 4.0 might be in the preview release by the end of the year. Sort of a PT release of 4, but that the official end of the year release will be 3.22. They mentioned that number several times, and so I take that as a serious indication that they will be having a 3.22 release. Because I had previously speculated that maybe 3.22 would be actually be 4.0. Well, actually, a lot of the things we saw this morning, in terms of, I think in 3.22, if some of the wind and water and air things are as close as they made them sound like they would be, then 3.22, let's call it the Vulcan release, where they have the new wind features, the new air, the new water features, the new perhaps even some of the Maelstrom features, and the ray tracing features. All that would be enough to be worth a 4.22 branch, and none of that would require server meshing or Pyro, because it's pretty much all client side, but it would certainly be attractive visually and worthy of having a 3.22 release. Yeah, I mean, the deformable water, that was just, the deformable water and the new improvements in the cloud technology were highlights, the visual highlights of the morning so far. I may have to take a trip out, take a break before the afternoon sessions to go fetch myself a new cable. I'm currently trying to keep my phone charged off the battery, but the cable is misbehaving. So that's why I'm not working off of my good. Actually, why don't I go ahead and do that? I think I have enough time. I'm going to switch to my good microphone. Because unfortunately, my phone only has one USB 3 port, so I can charge with it, or I can use the external microphone. So I'm going to switch to the microphone. I don't know if that will automatically switch the live microphone as well. Did the sound suddenly improve? Okay, good.
I got you, boss. I got it.
Yeah. Here, let me. I'll take it down a bit. This is the microphone I'm using. It plugs right into the phone on the USB 3. It's got a windscreen, and you can twist it 180 degrees so that you can be facing towards you, or if you got the rear camera, facing towards your subject. Yeah, there's going to be cleanup problems no matter what they do with persistent enemy streaming. Maelstrom is just going to make the cleanup problems even more interesting. They talk about how they started with about 600,000 entities in a server, but once it's been up for a while, thanks to basically users creating clutter, that it goes well into the millions of entities, which is interesting if you think about it. It means that we as players are creating far, far more items of clutter than CIG actually creates by designing the world itself. That we're great clutter makers, we are. And that's actually something about Star Citizen that has been a feature of the development all along, and that is that our ability to create their ability to create fantastic new systems and our ability to quickly and creatively overstress them have been a constant yin and yang of the Star Citizen development process. Actually, the interesting thing about the Vulcan, also the Crucible, is whether the mechanic for repair that they've been moving ahead on is really compatible with it. It's kind of like the Pioneer was originally developed for the purpose of doing these little modular bases, and now we've got the new what's the word I'm looking for? The new colonialization outpost, and the fact that our bases are now going to be centered around our hangars, and the Pioneer is not sized or configured for building hangars, and yet hangars are going to be the centerpiece of user bases. Oh, this is a picture worth getting. Two major cosplay dudes. on the Dragonfly. Hope I'm not making too many knocks. What?
Daniel?
Yes.
Hey, I'm Rada.
Hi.
Nice
Thank
to meet
you.
you. I love your show.
Thank you very much.
Watching it since the beginning.
Oh, very good. Now I'm live streaming today. Great. Thank you. Okay. All right. I've been switching between my face and for this I had been wanting to show the Pyro, which they now have brought up a whole bunch of new people. Oh, actually, who did win the? I wasn't paying attention. I was watching other things. Who won the cosplay? I was truly impressed by the guy that had the Artemex armor. Bandit. Oh, okay. Anyhow, from what I'm seeing by looking over here at the pieces of screen, people are doing all sorts of things in Pyro, and in general, they are behaving fine. I'm seeing most of the screens look like they've got excellent screen rates. It looks like they're working on pretty high-end systems. I don't see eye trackers on the monitors, though. I see people in UGFs, in ships, in the star map. This Pyro build does not have a better than normal star map. As best I can tell, they're working just in 3.21. I don't see any indication of anybody being any place other than Pyro. It looks like a lot of the standard components, elevators and such, are the same in both Pyro and Stanton. They didn't. A lot of components they decided not to completely recreate Pyro versions of them. You can see that they've given the sun a reddish glow in Pyro, but not as much as the initial lore would have expected there to be a reddish glow. Remember, Pyro was originally described as a red dwarf star, and it has a reddish tinge, but not necessarily a really red tinge. Yeah, Pyro, by lore, is a much larger system than Stanton is. Stanton is relatively compact in terms of number of AUs from the inside to the outside. at the far outer reaches of the Pyro system. That could be, or that could be a placeholder. I don't recall the exact number of planets in the Pyro system, but it could be like a Pluto, a dusty protoplanet way out at the edge. It would be an interesting thing from a gameplay standpoint to have something like way out there deserted, so that if you wanted to sort of set up a private base of your own away from the gangs of Pyro, you might be able to be there and be ignored. I guess what I'll do, I don't know how much time we have before the next session. If the line's not too long, I might see if I can sneak in and get a few minutes on the screen. Oh, okay, this is interesting. Pyro 2 is now Monarchs, Pyro 3 is now Bloom, and Pyro 4 is Terminus. Okay. So it was something. And Terminus has Ruin Station orbiting above it. Okay. Did the published star map show any of the other stations besides Ruin Station? Because the word I have heard is that there is going to be several space stations in Pyro, each of them for one of the major factions. We're probably going to see that more about that in the Life on the Edge session, which I think is not today but tomorrow. I may be wrong. Well, it may have been a slip of the tongue. Asteroids are fun, particularly in a lawless system. Lots of places to hide, lots of places to hide from. Hey,
Android B1000.
what?
Android B1000.
Oh, hi.
What are your subscribers?
I'm Ray's guy.
Yeah. Did you make it yourself?
And I'm a little over 13,000 now.
Really?
Yeah.
No, this is the ELF handle. It's too thick for the cricket to cut
what's
through,
all this
and
stuff?
it'll cut the wire.
Surgeon coverage
So
I've never seen.
use a cricket
Well,
to make the
I
stencil
really appreciate
and then
that.
cut it out.
What did you think of the morning session?
It's good. It's not good. My feeling was, up until now, usually when I watch Citizencon, I see bullshit technology. I don't think this was bullshit technology. This was all stuff that's actually coming.
Yeah, I was a little bit disappointed that the repair didn't seem better scripted. That they had it, but they were kind of stumbling around as to what was happening now.
The presentation wasn't great. But
Right.
the content,
The contents. Yeah, the
The
contents.
contents blew my mind.
Contents had me
The fact
salivating.
that at the end, he said, oh yeah, we're just going to pop this up for you guys to play with.
Oh, yeah.
That was it.
By the way,
My missus thinks your voice is awesome. And I often answer the phone as you.
oh,
This is Daniel Ring. Voice behind me.
the voice of Ray's guy, yeah.
That voice is amazing. But like we were having an argument, right?
Okay.
He spawned an argument. Every Sunday morning, I live just outside London. Yeah?
All right.
Every Sunday morning, wake up, we don't know what the hell you look like, right?
Oh, okay.
No one knows what you look like.
Oh, I'd appeared once on Astropub, but that was about it.
I've never seen that, right? So, we're arguing about what you look like.
Okay. I bet you both had it wrong.
So, me, I had James L. Jones.
All right.
And do you remember 24?
Yeah, okay.
You know President Palmer from 24?
I think so.
She had President Palmer, you know, the big, what's that, his height, he's like, I think it was to be an American football
Right.
guy. But we both had you down as that.
Uh-huh.
And I said, that guy was such a And then eventually, right, I managed to.
He's a scrawny white guy. Oh boy.
Then she goes, no, I think he's a white guy. I said, no,
Well, she
no,
was.
no, he looks like my black father figure, I tell you. And she was like, no. And then eventually I managed to track you down through LinkedIn, and I got a really fuzzy picture, and I was like, damn it, you're right.
She won.
You have got the coolest voice.
Good.
The coolest voice ever, man. I don't know whether you had to smoke a million cigarettes or.
Oh no. My voice basically comes from singing training.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
Church choir
I can't
work.
work out, right? Because I'm a software architect, developer, right?
Okay.
And you often delve into the realms of architecture, but sometimes you seem to have quite a deep knowledge of software development as well.
Yeah, well, I've done both. I went from architecture to computer-aided facility management to computers and managing facilities of computers to that. So that's why I have that.
I own a company we build like
different areas.
workflow systems and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And one of the technologies we use for it is a technology called NATS.